Here now with Governor Josh Green joining us in studio to discuss some of the state's top issues, everything from landmark legislation just signed into law, as well as wildfire preparedness. Governor Green, as always, a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We know we had a very close call with Mahili, with the fire, very similar with the Lahaina fire 2-year anniversary coming up here,
Yes.
discussing issues like access and warnings. What's your response to that?
So we were able to manage that fire without it spreading broadly. We now have the fire marshal, which is fantastic. She's doing a great job, was right on the ground. Funds are in there from the legislature, plus the climate impact fee opens up a lot of extra dollars, about $100 million, of which a third would go to extra prevention, technology, and so on. As we come to the 2-year anniversary, the legislature helped me out with the settlement funds. That's a $4 billion settlement so people can heal and build houses. So we're on the right track, better than any other state.
Well, speaking of money, too, I know with what's happening in our nation's capital, you've been very active there and also trying to make contingency plans for how we could be hit hard by some of those funding cuts.
Yes, so we have 406,000 individuals on Medicaid. That's 29% of our state, and we rely on those monies to keep people insured and to keep our rural healthcare system intact. So the previous meeting when I went to D.C. to work with Dr. Oz, we discussed a contingency rural health trust fund, and he agreed to do it. That's $50 billion over 5 years, $10 billion each year. Half will go to the states equally, so we'll get at least $100 million, and I'm helping to write the rules on the other half of the money. So I expect us to do well. We're also going to try to amp our Medicare reimbursements. This is important because it will sustain us in advance of any cuts to Medicaid. I will say this, though. We have to fight off the Medicaid cliff, because if we did lose, say, 10% of our Medicaid population off of insurance, it would hurt us badly. And in some cases, that's like homeless individuals who have very little capacity to sign up for things. We don't want to lose those dollars and have them back in the hospital uncompensated, doing care that is, really expensive. So these are big issues I'll be fighting on.
Another big issue, of course, we're so reliant on tourism and the tariffs and a loss in some visitor traffic, perhaps for places like Canada. How are we addressing this?
Well, it doesn't help when we talk about taking over Canada. I mean, that's just not good. So the Canadians get upset when we say those kind of things. We love the Canadian travelers. They're a significant part of our economy, especially from the tourism side. So I'm going to have some conversations even today at 11 with a lot of the consul generals to calm everybody down, because I think people should view Hawaii differently than mainland politics. But yes, when we lose that hunk of travelers, and they sustained us during COVID when a lot of people did not come from California or Japan, it would hurt. I think it's as much as 4% at some parts of the year for our tourism economy. So I want them to come here and to feel welcomed.
All right, one of the other big issues, we say highest electricity prices in the nation. There have been some changes to charge a fee to some of the independent receivers. What is your take on the change and how this will affect HECO and service going forward?
So we did a lot of things this year. We passed a bill called wheeling, which means that if someone has like a very robust EV system, solar system on their house or on a property, or they do an investment, they'll be able to use the grid to put energy back into their community, and they can make money off of it at a much lower rate. It's pretty transformational. I give a ton of credit to the state Senate, state House. Just so many good things happened. We need more energy sustainability, and we need our grid to be available to everyone. We also did not need HECO to go bankrupt, and so that was some of the other legislation that happened, because if they suffer, they end up passing on costs to all consumers. So there were 4 or 5 big things that had to happen after the Maui wildfire: sustaining our energy grid, making sure things got safer, getting people housing, doing the settlement, doing the green fee. And those puzzle pieces came together and allow us to recover 10 times faster than other places.
I want to ask you about another issue that's been in the news a lot, about the ice. A lot of the crackdown we've been seeing, and also at Kaneohe Marine Corps Base, Hawaii, having the ICE agents there. What is your response to that?
So from my perspective, our National Guard and military should be used to protect us and to do work here in the state for our needs, for our domestic needs, and for humanitarian work, but not for work on immigration. In general, immigration should be left to the federal government. So our Attorney General has clear instructions from me to only do what is in the state's interest, and to view immigration as something that we accept. We have a diverse population. Only if someone is a hardened criminal and is doing very bad things do we think that they should be plucked out of the community and sent away. If someone's been here for 15 or 20 years and is a good worker, they're working in agriculture, they're working in any number of industries, and they're not committing crimes, that's not where any of our resources should be used. So I want people to be reassured. We want to keep families together. We've all been immigrants in the last couple generations. Let's be kind to people and just focus on the hardened criminals if that's who we're going to kick out of the country.
Well, Governor Green, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for updating. Well, we had some time to cover a lot of issues today.
Thank you.